This Cherry Street. Okay, there was Eliza Smith. We weren't sure what the descendants they were, but we've been finding Myrtle Smith, and she's gone, and I have a list of who's there. And Rachel Smith. Henrietta Smith died. Angeline Smith. People raise their hand. Angeline. Yeah. And then there was a Betty Smith. So when we talk about how are we related, we are either have a grandmother, great-grandmother, great-grandfather, whatever. I have, I'm going to pass it out on the table. You see all the descendants, the children, the everybody who got back to me. I put in the date, I put in people who died, that we can update this and continue this forward. Hold on, I'm sorry. But let's talk about how we got to Mess. That's the most important thing. Okay, we talked about the descendants, we talked about our great-grandmothers and grandmothers. From what I read, and there's a library in Florida that does ancestry in the South. And I found out that the Smith family came north to Cambridge or Boston in 1904. They came, so we've been here in Massachusetts 114 years, okay? They came on a train. It was a segregated train. One of the brothers must have come first, I think Johnny said, and sent for his sisters. They came on a train. They couldn't sit at first class, business class, whatever class, which we do. It was a train with the blacks sat in the back and the smoke went in their face. But they headed north. They wanted to come to a new land, new promise, and that's what they did. So they dreamt of an unknown future. Talk about our ancestors who are no longer with us. Only a few of us old will talk about it. They worked as domestic. They worked in the factories. We had aunts who couldn't walk. When you're young, you say whatever. They could not get off their hands and knees. They could not use a mop. They had to be on the cold floor to scrub the owners' floors. We have one descendant who was the first African American who was a sand hogger, Humphrey. He was the first African American to go under the ground, and he built the Boston City Hospital, which is now Boston Medical Center. Okay? So I don't know everybody, and I'm sorry in terms of what everybody, we're going to leave the open mic and people can get up and talk. Okay? But how do we get to the Cape? Okay, so they came to Boston, 1904, they were domestics, they were on their hands and knees, they scrubbed, but they dreamt that we, the next generation, would have a better future. And here we are. Yes. A couple of them bought land in the Cape when nobody wanted to be down here. Not even some of us, okay? There was nobody down here, trees, but Ollie, few other people bought land that we could all vacation together, find out who our cousins were. Some of us know each other because we're older. We went fishing, went to ponds, we had a good time. So our history here in the Cape precedes people who now try to claim this area as their own, okay? We were here a long, long time ago. Yes. We hear this word wash ashore, we're not a wash ashore. We are not a wash ashore. We've been here since the 40s. We've been here 60-something years. I had this woman come up and say, are you a wash ashore? I said, been here 60 years. How long you been here? He was surprised, okay? Okay? So my recommendations are, accept our African-American culture. Be proud. Be proud. Our ancestors fought, back, worked, stood up with pride of their ancestry, and paved the way for us to gather here today. Remember, our blood and tears have now enabled other ethnic groups to vacation, not in segregated places, to eat in restaurants, hotels. We did all of that. Our ancestors did that. They fought, they died, and that's how we fought.
That's right.
Do not allow anybody to denigrate you or mention you have no culture or history. Yes, we do. Okay? The Smith family embodies endurance, strength, richness, which will hopefully continue with future generations. And among our family members that we're able to find, we have family in Birmingham, Alabama, Atlanta, Singapore, Maryland, Florida, Massachusetts, and New Jersey. But remember, we don't know another 20 lines. So be careful with marrying a Smith. Okay? So celebrations like this gathering give us the strength to keep going forward. I will turn the mic over to anybody who wants to talk, come up, speak. I asked just a minute so we're not here all day, and then we can have some fun. So anybody who'd like to come up, before I do that, I'd like to think that somebody would keep the ball going. We pick a date, and we continue to have family reunions.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You gotta take the hat off if you're coming up here. You cannot get the mic with that hat on. We all agree? Yeah, you can put it on if you want.
I have always been one to upset the apple cart. So,
All right, wear the New York hat, yes.
Well, I'm gonna make this real quick. Okay, my name is Keith. I am from, Jean was my mom, Rachel, her mother. But Patty told you the story of how we all got here to Massachusetts. I want to tell you how we all got to Chatham. Patty and Missy worked their butt off. I want everyone to stand up. We were not thinking that these two did not do all of this. And look what we have. We didn't know. Oh, and Sarah, whoever Sarah is, thank you, Sarah. We didn't know that we had all of this family until all of this happened. So I want to thank you all for doing all that you did and making it possible. And to all of those who have gone before us, we love you too.
All right, come on, Steve.
Thank you, everybody, for coming today. My name is Stephen Smith.
All right.
I'm the grandson of Jonah Smith. Jonah was born in Kitchell, North Carolina in 1877. And he raised me virtually from a little tyke up until he couldn't take me anymore. But I want to say something about being brought up by someone like Jonah. Is he established some values in me that I passed on to my family. I'm sad to see that we are losing those types of values. And if there was some way that we could reach back, grab onto them, and dispel them amongst our young people today, we will all be better off for it. Okay? Now, Jonah came to the Cape in the 40s, and he was, his daughters bought property here, and he bought a place over in Hyannis, and nobody wanted to live in that part of town. Okay? No lights, dirt road, and it stunk. Mainly because it was a part of Hyannis in which the whalers brought in the whale and the oil, and it spilled all over that territory, so nobody wanted to live there. Back then, I imagine the property wasn't very expensive, but even then, to afford to buy a piece of property, somebody like Jonah, it was tough. And over the years, I used to come down to the Cape to visit him, and he taught me how to work hard. Okay? I dug, I chopped, and I did all the things that he led me to do. And I got to go back a little bit and tell you.